I am Viel, President and CEO of Quebec International.
So if we look at Canada in general, what makes it an attractive destination for FDI?
Well, normally I would say three things, but for this one, I think there's more than three reasons why people took and consider Canada as their place for doing business and to do FDI. So number one that I would bring up to the group is number one is the different free trade agreements that Canada has signed over the years that actually give us access not only to Europe, the US, but also to Asia. The second key one for me is the talent pool that Canada has to offer to an international company that would decide to come and actually increase their business into Canada. The other one that actually might be one that people might say, well, it's a given. It's the quality of life that Canada has to offer. Actually, that's one that actually will strike people to come and live and actually grow and actually live in a great place to actually raise a family. The other one for me is also the different incentives that the three levels of government are actually providing to companies to actually set up their company. And the last one for me that actually plays on two fronts, it's open and openness. Number one, we're open for business. And number two, Canadians are open, and it's the openness of Canadians to actually welcome people coming from around the world. I don't know if it's going to come as a surprise, but our numbers are actually growing over 3 years. We have seen an increase of FDI of over 20% growth. And this year, we're expecting that the numbers we're going to probably overachieve the objective that we already have fixed for the year. And with a lot of transparency, a lot of it is going to come in ICT. We're seeing the trend. A lot of investors are looking at other places to invest, and Canada has a lot to offer. One of the key things that I didn't bring up so far, but it's also the price, the cost of operating in Canada. It helps us on a few things. Number one, the difference with the euro, the difference with the US dollars, and also it's another key thing that the salaries of the employees and the salaries and the wages in Canada are lower than you could actually companies in the US or in Europe. So actually those are some of the other elements that actually plays a key role in attracting more investment.
So if we focus in on the city of Quebec right now, what would you say are its top competitive advantages for attracting FDI? Are they different, by the way, than Canada as a whole?
Well, we could start by saying all of those that I put in for Canada actually plays the same role at the city level. As we were discussing previously before we started, I think the quality of life that actually Quebec City has to offer actually plays a key role in attracting and retaining the talent pool that we have in the region. The other one that actually and I would say that Quebec and others have across the country, is actually the quality of talent that comes out of our universities and also our specialized cégeps and colleges that we have in Canada. Specifically to Quebec, I think the size plays a key role, which actually helps to foster the relationships between the different stakeholders and the rapidity that people can get access to the different stakeholders to get their their project off the ground, but rapidly started. It's the quality of the interactions that we have. And the last one that actually is for me a key element, it's the quality of the economy. Quebec City has the most resilient economy across the country. We have seen it over the years, 25 years of GDP growth, the fastest region in the country actually to come out of the crisis with COVID. And once again, the rapidity that we're able to create or recreate jobs through the pandemic crisis that actually we're facing around the world.
We're going to be talking a little bit about life sciences later on, but before we do, why is Quebec City so resilient?
I think there's, number one as being the capital of the province, we have a strong base of what we would call, the function people that actually work at the government level, which is mainly in Quebec City and provincial. Number two is the different sectors that actually make our economy. You just mentioned life science, which for me is a non-cyclical sector. The other key one is finance and insurance, which is also a key pillar of Quebec City. The third one is ICT as abroad, or IT, which actually in Quebec is really well renowned. People from around the world will probably know CGI, which was founded in Quebec City, which is one of the top 5 largest IT company in the world. The other key sector of our economy, and I'm already answering one of the other questions, is the agriculture, agri-food sector, which actually plays a key role in the region. So all of those sectors are anti-cyclical. So they've been there, and people are still going to need to eat. People will have to buy insurance, and people will need, unfortunately, either drugs or vaccines to be able to live longer, as we're all expecting.
Obviously, as an economic development agency, you're going to have your priority sectors. You're going to be building on specific strengths and trying to put those forward. What are those strengths, by the way? And then maybe we can talk about the priority sectors.
Number one is what we like to say is we're like a one-shop office. So if you're coming in, over the years, we have created an economic development agency that actually plays all of the different roles that a company and organization is looking when they're looking to come into a community. So it's a one shop. You get access to all of the different services from the FDI components, bringing some of your international pool to a community, to a new country. We have a team that actually specializes in helping you go through the different hurdles of integration. Number 3 is we also manage an Incubator Accelerator. So if you're a smaller SME that is looking to come to North America as a first step and doing it as more of a test pilot, we actually are providing soft landing capability through our incubator. So if you want to bring in 1 or 2 of the employees, you want to test the North American market, I'm probably biased on what I'm going to say, but I would actually try Canada before going to the US. As you say, fail fast. And if you fail, not investing millions of dollars. So try Canada first. We're going to be afterwards. We have an export team. So if you want to expand to the US, if you want to expand to the rest of Canada, we will have some of our employees that are going to be there to help you to operate in what we call ROC, the rest of Canada, or into the US. So we have this expertise, those capabilities, and we also manage clusters. So if you're coming in one of the key sectors, you're also going to get specific talent that actually is going to be there to help you out to succeed. And I think the key thing is that one of the key elements that we see international companies failing is they don't know how to operate in a new country. So helping them to understand the market, but also getting access to the key stakeholders, the key decision makers. And I think that's an element that people should never underestimate.
How would you characterize Quebec's strengths in in life sciences, and yeah, how does it make it more competitive than other municipalities in Canada or elsewhere?
I think the first element that comes to mind is the capability that our researchers have had through the years to transform innovation into companies, but also into success. So you just mentioned, for example, Medicago. The technology came out of Laval University over 20 some years ago, and it's the capability that the researcher had. And afterwards, the baton that actually, that was, given to the business community to take this idea and bring it into a world success. And it is this capability of transforming innovation into successful companies over the course of the years. And we have other key, examples that I could bring in as BD that actually came out to Quebec City through innovation that came out from another top researcher, Dr. Michel Bergeron, that has created over the years many successful. So he's a successful entrepreneur. I think that's one of the key things. The second one, as I've mentioned earlier, it's the talent pool. It's the capability of attracting key specific people and keeping and retaining this talent pool in your community to be able to move from company A, creating a success that actually afterwards they sold to a bigger or to an international company. And those researchers, those inventors are moving to another company and saying, I did it once, I could do it 3 times. So I think that's also how we can be able to do it. And we see that in other sectors in ICT as well. So I think that's the second thing. And the third one for me is where we are in Quebec, it's the capability and the fast access, number one, to the US market and afterwards European market with those innovation and bringing them to market and getting access to the US and Europe, which are larger markets than Canada has to offer in terms of population. And often, sometimes it's sad to say, but faster access to reimbursement that plays a. And the fourth element that I would bring in, if I may, on top of those three, is the community and making sure that all of the incentives are there to help the people through the different steps that they have to achieve to get to their two market.
What about the availability of talent? I'm thinking, with the pandemic, everyone's working remotely, and it has sort of opened, I think, company leaders' minds in terms of, maybe new models, new ways of attracting talent, or even of, having talent in different parts of the world. Could you speak a little bit to that talent pool? And also, again, in the COVID reality, how has it been impacted, and what are you prioritizing going forward?
Well, number one, as it's not going to be a surprise, what we have seen around the world in terms of trends, we're seeing a lot of people leaving, I'm going to say larger, bigger cities. We have seen this, and we're discussing about, for example, Paris and other places. People are looking at buying houses, having access rapidly to the outdoors, being able to combine and having, their own house. So Quebec is actually the right size for people that are actually looking for a balance between work life. You're going to be able to have access to your own home. You're going to have access to, if you're in the winter, skiing. If you're looking to biking, we have a lot of, the cycling roads and the biking courses and things like that. So this capability of having the right size where actually you're going to be able to live and work, I think that's one of the key things that actually we're going to be continuing to focusing on to attract international talent. That's number one. Number two is actually providing and being able to help companies to attract people from around the world that are looking at places to go. We have seen other countries that actually now are saying to people that are working freelance, come and live in my own community. You're going to be able to plug your computer, and work. But if you're in life science, a lot of those jobs, it's not only having a computer, you're working in a manufacturing, developing vaccines. You need people to be locally, physically in a place. So that's where we're going to go back to number one. Number three, it's the university and the colleges that actually are providing the fuel to be able for companies to get access to the talent pool. So number one, University Laval, we're doing the numbers, but right now, 11,000 future employees per year that actually are there and are saying, I want to work in this sector, from the broad spectrum, from medical research. So that, I think, is the third one, is getting access to quality talent, well-trained, well-formed. And Canada also offers a lot of training capabilities, a lot of support for companies to get access, because, you get someone, you want to train them, you want to be able to get those people to grow in their job so that they're better from 1 year, they're better in year two. So it's getting access to programs that actually going to be able to train, get your people to be better in life.